Alright, welcome back everybody to another session of Ultimate X strategy and trying to continually play Ultimate X perfectly. I really should start off these videos, I keep forgetting to start by saying that this is double bonus poker specific to Ultimate X, and the strategy is also specific to 10 play, and it's also specific to 964 double bonus, as you can see from the pay table. This is 964 because the full house pays 45, the flush pays 30, and the straight pays 25. Blank pays 20. Just feel like I need to reiterate that so that way nobody thinks that this is just one strategy for all Ultimate X variants, because the strategy does vary based on pay table to pay table and game type to game type. And similarly to how many hands. 1 hand, 3 hand, 5 hands, 10 hands. So I figured just get that out of the way. Anyway, let's jump into the video. Starting off with inside straight, that would be the ace at 37 because of the 4 flush penalty. Pair of kings. Because we have 2, 3, and there's a 10. Because we have 3 to the flush with the ace, we have a 3 and a 2, which is low straight interference, and we have the 10, but the ace is a penalty to the 10. This would actually be the ace at 38. In our case, our multipliers are too low. We're keeping the 3 to the flush. 2 pair, always keeping 2 pair. King ace suited. King 10, 3 of hearts. So, like I said, we keep a 3 of the flush with a king. So, even if it's King 10 suited, you will always keep the 3rd card if you have nothing else to go with it. This is always, even if you had like King 2, 3, King 10, 3, King 4, 7, as long as there's no other high cards in that hand, or an open-ended straight or something like that, you would always keep the 3 to the flush. Even if you have max multipliers that have 120. Pair of 7s. Some 4s. Ochos, por favor. Some 6s. Nothing too weird yet. Got some 10s. Got that inside straight draw there, looking for a jack. No jacks. 6s again. I didn't ask for it, and that's why I didn't ask for it. Open-ended straight. There we go, got in the 10x right where you wanted it. We have a double inside straight flush draw. You will do this over the jack queen or jack 10 queen. That is the correct play. And everybody's gonna say, "Oh, you missed the royal flush." Well, the double inside straight flush with the jack was the correct play. We just to showcase that. Let's see, we had jack 10, 7, queen, and I don't remember the other card we had. We'll just throw 4 in there or something. And as you can see, oh, switch that over. There we go. As you can see here, no matter what the multiplier sum was, that was the correct play, holding the double inside straight flush over just jack 10 queen, trying to fish for that straight. Again, going for that inside straight. Striking out again. Alright, king. Just the king. Got some 9s. The 8s again. So back to that play with the double inside straight flush. The reason why you don't keep the queen there is because you don't have the ability to fill a straight, and you don't have straight interference inside of the double inside straight flush on that one. Now, if you would have had a 9 per se, we'll go back to that hand. Let's change this. Let's change this up a bit, okay? Let's put a 9 in there. Now you see. Well, actually, I shouldn't. Let's not use a 9. Let's use an 8 because that would make an open-ended. Let's use the 8. There we go. Now we have an inside straight draw. Okay, so the inside straight draw would be the play until a multiplier sum of 27, and then you would go for the double inside straight flush. But because we didn't have any straight interference inside our double inside straight flush, because there was no 8 or no 9 present, we're going to go for that. The queen doesn't interfere with it. It is technically straight interference on the other side, but it's not straight interference inside of it, if that makes any sense. And that applies to all double inside straight flushes versus another high card where you have an inside straight as well. There's the 8s. Again, this is more, again, these are all 964 double bonus specific. I can't speak to any of the other game types or variants exactly, but because the straight paying 20 and then the flush paying 30, I would assume that's more than likely why, because the flush is paying 30. Just the ace. Can we capitalize? Well, it's better than none. Ooh. I wonder if you keep 9-10. See, this is a tricky one because 9-10 or 4-5 suited actually is a hold, but I don't know if you keep 9-10 suited when you have 4-5 suited. I don't believe so. Maybe. We'll look at this. This is definitely a weird one. So we still would, but for how long? Probably up until 15. Interesting. So at 16, we would basically throw the hand away. Okay. So because we have, see, I'm glad this hand came up because this is a really weird hand that not a lot of people even know exists. This is a perfect example of one. So we're under that threshold, so we're going to keep the 9-10. I am assuming that the hope is that you could fill a straight or a flush, or straight flush potentially. I think that's what it's for. That's my understanding. Probably just straight or flush draw because it's better than throwing the hand away. This would be both queen and ace offsuit at a multiplier sum of 39 because we had ace-10 penalty and we had 3 to flush with the queen. This would be king-queen at 19, but because our multipliers are too low and we have the 9, so we have king-9-3, 3 to flush. So at 19, we would go for the king-queen offsuit. Multipliers too lower. We're going to fish for that flush. Got one. Got some 10s. Some 4s. Fours again. Deuces. Jack queen off suit. King queen. Kind of some dead hands. Get some 8s. King queen off suit again. Open-ended straight. We need an 8 or a 3. We got them both. Alright, definitely not losing on this hand. You got a random quad in there too. Nice. 2 pair. Keeping 2 pair always. Alright, 39 multiplier sum. What can we do? We got some 9s. Got the queens here. Now I just made a video about this on my channel a few days ago. You have a high pair versus a 4 to the flush. Because we have multipliers and there's not another high card suited in that 4 to the flush, you're going to go for the queens at a multiplier sum of 11. Because there isn't another high card. So we're going for the queens here, not the 4 to the flush. If there was no multipliers up there, we would have gone for the 4 to the flush. Jack King suited. Deuces again. Hey, there you go out of nowhere. Let that count up for a minute and just kind of enjoy that one. I don't know where we started at exactly credit-wise this session. I actually didn't even pay attention. I don't know if we're up or if we are back to where we started. Alright. We've talked about this hand at nauseum. 4 to the flush versus 3 to the royal. The correct play is the 4 to the flush because King, Jack, Ace is not a strong royal flush pull. Alright. We're definitely ahead now. We're certainly ahead now. We have to be. Alright. Keeping it rolling. Just the ace. So the correct play here, and we talked about this one before, we have an inside straight. We actually have 2 inside straights. Yeah, we have 2 inside straights there. You can go 2, 3, 4, 6, or you can go 3, 4, 6, 7. Because the straight only pays 20, and the flush pays 30, and you get a higher multiplier, obviously. The correct play is the double inside straight flush over the inside straight for 964 double bonus. This is always the case. Always. You will never go for an inside over a double inside straight flush if you have an inside straight. You won't do that. Got 1 flush at least. Pair of 2s. Sevens. Here we have an inside straight we're going to go for. Looking for a 6. Nope. Keeping that 3 to the spade, the 3 to the flush here with the 3 to the spades. Because we have a 10 of diamonds interference. We would go for the Jack King suited. Drop that 3 at a multiplier sum of 52. Just the ace. Pair of queens. Same play as before, but this time we have a queen penalty. So we're going to keep that queen. We're going to keep that 2 of spades up until a multiplier sum of 68. Then we would drop that queen. Wow, that's a decent amount of flushes there for holding 3 to the flush. Come on, 5s. Could be worse. Got some 10s there. Some 8s. Some 5s again. Just the king here, nothing else. Going for that inside straight again. Wow, we are really striking out on those inside straights today. Two, please. I technically got 2, but I only got 1 flush. And we'll take a jack, so better, you know. But we'll take a full house as well out of nowhere. Can we improve? Oh yes, 3 full houses and 1 in the 12x. We'll let that count up for a second. Gonna time the RNG right now. And we struck out. Alright. Turn that into a winner, thankfully. Just the queen here. Nope, nothing else. Just that queen. No double inside straight flush there. Almost didn't see that 4 to the flush there. I'm going to give it a second before I ask for it. Alright, 2 please. It never fails. Hey, we're not losing here. Now, why can't this happen like this in real life more often? Got some 10s. Granted, this is a real machine. As far as I know, I'm the only person on YouTube that's actually, directly screen capturing the video output of a real video poker machine, as far as I'm aware of. Jack suited here. Keeping the 5 of diamonds there up until a multiplier sum of 50 because of that ace of hearts interference. Again, 2 pair, a lot of 2 pair tonight. Alright, multiplier sum of 48. What can we do? 5, 6, 9, we're at 48. This is just the ace. 5, 6, 9, we'd have to be at 43 and above to go for just the ace because the ace does not have flush interference. So the ace only here is the correct hold. Pair of 4s. I'm better than blanking out. We'll take it. 3, keeping all 3 here. Fill straight or jacks are better. This one is just the ace. We have a double inside straight flush with an inside straight because the 7. So we have 4, 5, 8. You need 6, 7 to fill that double inside straight flush, but you have the 7 of diamonds interference. So because ace is so strong, you will never go for a double inside straight flush against an ace when you have a straight interference inside the double inside straight flush. The only time you will do that is if the ace has a flush penalty to that card and you have no multipliers. We'll demonstrate both of those situations. So you have 4, 5, 8, 7, and ace. Because the 7 is inside of the double inside straight flush as straight interference, you're never going to go for it. You're always going to keep the ace. But watch what happens when you penalty it to that 7 of clubs to the ace of clubs. It changes that only by 1 multiplier sum. And then at 11, you would drop that and just go for the ace. So you have to keep an eye out for hands like that to really pay attention what's going on here. Nice, converting 2 of them. Let's go. A lot of 2 pair today. I like it. All right, we're at 39. What can we do? Deuces. Let's bring the deuces. Come on. 60. That's a winner. Just the ace. You don't keep ace 10 ever. At least not by itself. If it was 3 of the flush, that's a different story. It's so difficult to fill that royal in, especially holding 3. But it does happen. It does happen. Wow, man, that 2 pair. Alright, 39 again. What can we do? Got some 6s. That's a winner. Just barely. Keeping them both here because ace has a flush penalty to that 6 of spades. Another two pair 48. All right. Oh, killing me here. Okay, can we get a jack, please? Oh man, we are really striking out on that inside straight draw today. We're holding our own though. We're up and we're holding on here. Yikes. All right, saved by the buzzer of the last hand. There was no 9 or 10 or anything like that other high card. You did have a 3 of the flush there, so we were above 15. Because we were above 15, we're going for the Jack King offsuit. Pair 9s. Just the king. Nothing really, like I said, nothing crazy tonight. Pretty basic hands, nothing really too complicated. Pair of 5s. I need to really look more at those. Oh wow, another quads with 2 suits or 4s. Look at that. This thing is just handing out money today. I guess it makes up for all those that couple down sessions we had, even though we already technically broke that one. I was gonna say if we got another quad just now, but another 2 pair. Wow. 9-10, please. Nope. So we have ace 10 2, 6 7. So because we have ace 10 plus 1, which is the 2 of clubs, we have again the ace with the 3 to the flush, and one of those cards is a 10. So we have the 10 interference, and we have the low straight interference. So this would be ace at 42. That's because we have ace 10 penalty plus the 2 of clubs, which is low straight. It goes all the way up to 48 on this one. It goes 38 if you had cards 6, 7, 8, 9. 42 if you have our current set of cards. So you have 1 low straight interference card, then 2 cards on the other side of 5, right? And then if you had 48, if you had like ace, 2, 10, 4, and then 7. Excuse me. Always keeping this 3 to the flush because we have that king of diamonds interference card. Doesn't matter what multiplier value you have. Ace queen because of the gap. Plus 1 always over another high card. Always, always, always. Unless you can fill an inside straight. So like if you had like the same hand we just had, except for like a king 9, you had like king 10, then you would just go for the inside straight. 4s. So this is one of those hands where you have to be at 24 because we have a 10 penalty. So you have queen 10, 3 versus king. The correct play is king queen if the multipliers are above 24. So we're below 24. We're going to go for that 3 to the flush. You can get one, but that is the correct play. Jack king offsuit. Pair of jacks. Oh, the allergies have been really killing lately with the pollen is really bad here in Vegas currently. About the last hand prior to this one, with the Jack Queen offsuit, you don't ever keep the you don't ever keep a 3 to the flush Jack Queen, unless there's a specific category for that. But if it's just Jack like 7 5 and then Queen or something like that, Queen 4, you're always going to keep Jack Queen offsuit. You won't go for like the Jack 5 7 3 to the flush. You never do that if it's Jack Queen by itself. for example, I'll just demonstrate it. Like this. So like, for example, as you can see, you never keep that 3. The flush jack queen is a very strong draw to a straight. So you always will keep these off suit. There's only one there's 2 exceptions to the rule, and they both involve an ace. So like, let's say you had jack 9-5. Let's go 8-5 actually. Let's go jack 8-5, queen, ace. Now the ace is the exception. The ace and the 8. You have straight interference from the 8 and the ace. Both have straight interference. So that does bump this up to 11. You would go for jack queen. And if this is 9, you bump that up to 14. That's the only exception to the rule. Unless we have double inside straight flushes. That's a different story though. But if it's just like a random 3 to the flush versus jack queen, it's typically almost always going to be the jack queen offsuit. There's an inside straight there, but it's not. Well, it is one you would go for, but you'd have to have no multipliers to go for that. You have 2 out of 3 prerequisites here. You have the flush penalty, and you have 2 low straight interference cards with ace. The one prerequisite you're missing is no multipliers. We have multipliers. We're not going for that inside straight over to ace. Pair of 8s. 9s. The Ninas. 2 pair again. 39 multiplier sum. Open-ended straight. One's better than none. Queen king over ace. Two, please. I just gotta stop asking for it. That would be ace at 32. There was no 10, and there's no flush penalty to the ace, so we're going for the inside straight. Get one, but that is the correct play. Got the deuces. What do we got there? Nothing, I believe. Nope, there is nothing there. Yeah, there's nothing there. It looked like there's something there, but you got nothing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. No, not even the 3 to the flush there. So this is ace at 13. We're currently at 8, 10. We are at 13 on the dot. 8, 10. Yeah, we're at 13. This is just ace. Again, that's because you had a 10 penalty, and you had both the cards. You had a 10 penalty, not to the ace as a flush penalty, but a straight penalty. And you had 2 cards closer to the king than they were to the ace. So there was no low straight interference with ace. So that's why you go for ace at a very low multiplier sum there. King jack's offsuit here over the ace. Keeping this one always. This is a 1 gap straight flush draw with 2 suited high cards. This is a very strong draw. We can demonstrate this one as well. Some people might be curious about this. You're not keeping the straight here at all. It's always going to be, you're always going to go for that 1 gap straight flush draw with the 2 suited high cards. Like that is one of the strongest straight flush draws, right next to 9, 10 jack. I think this is the strongest 3 card straight flush draw there is. Pair of aces. Well, I should say not the strongest. Maybe what I should say is the strongest straight flush draw with 2 suited high cards, aside from a 3 to the royal flush. Outside of that, otherwise, yeah, if you had a straight flush draw with, say, like no gaps, like 8, 9, 10, obviously that would be stronger. But as it goes for the 1 gap straight flush draw, I believe that is like the strongest. Next to the next to the 3 to the royal draws. get the aces? No, but we can get every other quad today, just not the aces. We even got the quads holding 2, doing it the hard way. Ace 4, 8, 10, 6. So we have 2 cards close to 10, 1 card close to ace. We have a 3 of the flush here. So we have low straight interference with the ace, and then 2 cards close to 10. This is ace at... This is either 35 or 36. Let's confirm it. 35 or 36. $36 it is. And we are definitely below 36, so we're going for that 3 to the flush. Again, that has to do with the 10. The 10 is an anchor point in a lot of these ace hands. You have to be aware of the 10. 10 is like the... In most hands, it seems like the 10 is like the biggest offender when it comes to bumping up stuff right next to like another high card. So you got to really watch out for 10s. 10s make a pretty big difference. 10s and a flush penalty. Going for the inside straight over the pair of 9s. Wow, hit that random. I didn't even notice I hit that random quad out of nowhere. Deuces. Can we do it? By golly, we did it. King, queen suited. Sevens. It could be worse, could be worse. Not too bad. Just a king. It's going to be hard to turn this into a winner. Ace, queen offsuit. Even though ace does not have a flush penalty, multipliers are too low. This would be ace by itself at a multiplier sum of 44. That's because you have 2 cards close to 9, queen here, the ace, the 8 and 9, and the 4 is low straight interference with the ace. So this would be 44 because there's only 1 straight interference card with ace, and there's no flush penalty. If there was a flush penalty, you would just keep them both the whole time. You would never not do that. Another inside straight draw. Not doing too hot on these. If you had 2 of them, you could have gone either way. This is the 3 to the flush because we have nothing else to go for there because 3, 4, 7, 9, 10 doesn't link to anything, but we do have a 3 to the flush. That's how that goes sometimes. Can we get 1, please? Not bad. We'll take 4. 8, 16, 24, 32. We have 32 plus 6. We're at 38. We're keeping both of these. This is both above 31. At 31, it's both offsuit high cards here because ace has a 3 to the flush, so it has a 2 and the 8 of diamonds penalty to it. So you're always keeping these 2 after 31. Below that, the 3 of the flush. Jack queen. Jack queen suited plus 1. So we're keeping the 3 of spades here because we have a 9 interference. The 9 bumps up the multiplier sum to 20 before you would drop that 3 of spades. So multipliers are too low to not keep that 3. We got 2 flushes out of that, and we got 2 pairs, so we're definitely not losing here. All right. Keep them both again, even though ace again does not have a flush penalty. We have 2 low straight interference cards, 3, 5. That bumps the multiplier sum up to 65 before we go for just the ace. 6s. Pair of kings. 7, 8, 9s. Straight flush draw, no gaps. Still got a straight. What do we got there? 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. So 6 is too close to 9, 10. We'll demonstrate this well because this goes back to an earlier hand from this session. But because 4, 6 is so close to 9, 10, I don't believe you're going to go for 9, 10 ever in this situation. Okay, yeah. It's got to be very low, the cutoff on this one. Yeah, it's very low. It's at 12. So you would technically go for it. Apologize, my voice again is it's allergies. So you would go for it at 12. You would dump the hand at 12, but our multipliers are too high, so we're going to not go for that. I need to really investigate these hands a little more because there's 8, 9, 9, 10, and 4, 5 specifically. I really need to make a video explaining that one more. I need to dive into it myself. So again, this goes back to the video I just posted a couple days ago. Forts with flush versus a high pair, but we have 2 suited high cards in the forts with the flush. So this would be, you would have to be above 17 to go for the jacks. We're at 30, so we're going for the jacks. Keeping them both here because ace has a flush penalty. Got some 9s. I think we'll go for about 5 more minutes before we wrap it out here. 5s again. Got some queens. Queen jack off suit. There's a joke in there somewhere. Some 10s. That's why I didn't ask. 8s, please. But a random full house, I'll take it. Just the king here. You do have an inside straight flush draw there and a flush penalty to the king. You have to be at 13 multiplier sum and above to go for the king over that inside straight. If you had less than 13 multipliers, so you had 12 and lower, you would go for that inside straight draw. But we have definitely more than enough multipliers to warrant going for just the king. Another 2 pair. 39. Quads, please. Ooh, no cigar. Just the ace there. Got some 10s. Pair of jacks. We're still holding our own here. We're still ahead of where we started, so not that I know the exact number we started on, but I know we're still definitely ahead. Some 3s. So this time we're dropping the 4 of diamonds because there is no 8, 9, 10 or other suited high card or 8, 9, any of those combinations. There could be king 9, king 8, king 10. I mean, there's just combinations, right? So in this case, we're above. This would be 14 and higher. We would go for the jack queen offsuit, and we have a multiplier sum of 17. So we're gonna dump that 4 of diamonds there. Jack queen is a very, especially the suited version, is this one of the strongest 2-card royal holds. Right behind, right in front of Jack 10. So Jack 10 would be the next, I think, strongest in that regard. Got some 7s. Jack king off suit. Two, please. Thank you. Jack king off suit again. Alright, we got a straight out of nowhere. Almost a straight flush. Wow. You can't get a straight flush, obviously holding the jack king off suit, but it showed up. Got a pair of 8s. Well, it almost showed up. The cards were back there. Just an ace. There's no inside straight. Nope, just the ace. Looks like we might be starting a round trip here. Another roller coaster ride of a video. Full house out of nowhere. Jack Queen off suit again. Alright, we made the 12x count. Just the king. Nothing else there. Couple more hands here. Two pair. 30x coming up. That would be ace 5. I know it is the 3 to the flush. Had the 5 again there. Is it 34 or is it 35? Or is it 36? I think it's 30. Well, before I misspeak here, let's just punch it in. Just make sure. I'm starting to get a bit tired now. Is it 34? So it is. Yep, so it is 35. Okay. Still in the realm of where I think we were supposed to be, but I know we were still supposed to keep that 3 to the flush. I'll have to brush up on those ones a little bit. There's some hands that I need to go back and just double check, practice a little bit. What happens is you start learning a new section of hands, and then you need to keep repeating the older hands so you still retain them mentally, otherwise you're going to lose the information. Always keeping both here because of the flush penalty on ace. Almost ready to wrap it out here. Fives again. Can we get a king, please? Hey, finally, there's our first inside straight with one of those hands. First one we actually hit it. Got a flush hold the queen out of nowhere. There you go. Some jacks. $10, please. All right. 6, 7, 8. And we got the straight flush. We're going to spin out this multipliers. I think that's a good place to wrap it out. Of course, on a 2 pair. Okay, I'm glad we didn't convert to a full house. Perfect way to end it here. So, as for this session, I don't know the exact number we started. I'm going to have to look when I go back at the recording. I'm going to have to take a look. But I'm thinking we're slightly ahead. I don't know exactly how much. We might be either a little ahead or maybe like, I don't know, 10, 15. We could be 10,000 ahead, below. I don't know. All I know is we sort of almost round tripped, but I think we're just slightly in the EV on this one, considering all the quads we got. So overall, pretty good session. Not too many tricky hands, but some interesting ones for sure came up. And we'll continue this session again next week as time permits. And I'm going to throw up probably some more content this week. And probably another little PowerPoint video about certain hands, what to do in certain situations. I think I'm going to keep doing one of those once a week as well. That way I can also keep my training refreshed as well, and you guys can learn some new stuff as well. So be sure to like, subscribe, leave some comments if you want, and we'll be back again next week. You guys have a good day, or a good night, I should say. Cheers. Well, depending on where you're watching from. Cheers.